One of the things I love about Enshrouded is the lack of combat classes. Instead, Enshrouded really lets you create your own combat style.
Yeah, I like the fact that you can customize both your skills and your gear, not based on your class or anything like that. Because some of these bosses take creativity. You have to think about how you're going to fight some of these creatures and bosses and some of the situations you get yourselves in, especially in the Hollow Halls.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about the entire system that Enshrouded has for combat, right? Is that it isn't just you are stuck to one sort of class and you can only use one type of weapon or item. You can pick up a bow, a wand, a staff, a sword, mace, shield, whatever, anytime you want.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I keep a two-handed weapon on me. I keep a wand and I keep a bow at all times because that gives me two options for ranged, and that also gives me my main combat style, which is currently right now a hammer, a big hammer with two skulls on the end of it. It's great for a tank person.
That's how setting up your class is so much fun. Not only do you get to choose the perks that you want, but the gear that you use to fit it as well, all while keeping the ability to fight solo or with others in mind.
Yeah, but it's so comforting to know that if you need a healer in the party, you don't have to completely focus on healing, but you can grab a couple of little abilities that help you be the healer if needed. Doesn't mean that you
Yeah.
have to be the dedicated and constant healer, but you can have those abilities that'll help us a little bit if it's needed.
But the fact that you're not class locked is what makes the Hollowed Halls update work so well with the combat system Enshrouded already had. And I just love it because I can now make my tanky healer build alongside your pure tank build, and we could be like a bro of tank builds going into a thing, but I'm using magic and maybe you're using a bow, but we're still beefy as heck. It may sound broken, but it's a really well balanced combat system.
You can play with the same character you had in a group server. You can bring that to your private server. But I think that when you're picking the skills, if you go from playing in a group and a team and then you go to play private with that same character, I think picking the skills for that character continuing on have to change. You have to change kind of your strategy because it's harder to do some of these things solo with if you for instance just go example of all tank skills. It's harder to
Oh
get
yeah.
through some of this stuff just tanking it. So you got to split up, do some agility skills, do some stealth skills, do some healing skills so you can heal yourself. Whereas when you're playing as a team, you can build on your teammates.
Yeah, and the thing about Enshrouded, I think is important for people to know, is that your own player skill, like outside of your character, just you as a person gaming, really comes into a factor. Because I cannot just 100% rely upon my character's health and other stats that I put my skills into to make me win the fight. It really depends upon how I actually dodge, roll, what items I use. Maybe I'll bring bombs. Maybe, I'll bring a couple of potions, bandages, or other things, but it really depends on how I choose to use my items, my equipment, and the weapons I have, rather than 100% only upon the combat style that I have created in Enshrouded.
Yeah, it's all about the creativity. It's all about thinking about what this boss is going to throw at you and how you can go about combating that situation and the boss's attacks and avoiding certain things. Now, there's certain ones that you want to fight a certain way, but you can build your skill tree that way. You can build your party that way. If you're playing with a group of people, you can all build off of each other's abilities and skills. And there's so many options that the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I love about the Hollow Halls is that it does take a group of people to accomplish them. Now, I was able to accomplish them solo, and I've seen plenty of YouTube videos about people doing it solo, but they're meant to be done in a group. And because of Enshrouded's freestyle combat system, you can really build some interesting styles that really can go solo or with a team just as easily on either spectrum. And I love that kind of combat style that Uncharted has leaned into because it really encourages group play while not taking away from the solo play. Well, folks, thank you very much for joining us on our talk about combat in Enshrouded and the new Hollow Halls update and the various combat styles. Joining me with Dimension, don't forget that he has a Twitch down below and often plays many games himself. And thanking and joining me with our producer, Red Falcon. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Goodbye for now.